All right, welcome everybody.
Welcome.
Hi.
Hello.
Thank you for coming out and supporting us. My name is Brianna, aka Dr. PH Meter.
And my name is Alejandro, also known as the Mozzarella Farmer. And we would also like to ask the MicroRangers to please stand up or raise your hand so you guys know who we are. So I would like to give you guys a little bit of background. This program is called Micro Museum, and it's just what it sounds, Micro Museum. This is an after-school program where high school students would come for 2 hours twice a week, and we would learn about microbes and microbiology and also a little bit about gaming.
To add on to what Alejandro said, we also learn science techniques and more about microbes, which are those little guys on your table. Get familiar with them if you want to.
And we put all this together to develop a game, a mobile app for the museum goers to play in the museum. So we would like to ask half the group,
It could be this
whichever half would like to go.
Okay, so from this side down, we'll have 4 escorts for you to go outside in the halls and play the game, try out the prototype. Please rise. As you
So-
guys know, I am Brianna, PH Meter.
I'm Alejandro. Welcome back. Welcome back. Let's see where to start. Okay. So now we're gonna ask you something. What is something you know about microbes?
Okay.
Oh, just shout out your answers. That works too.
There are good ones and bad ones. You can't see them. And they were here before us, and they're going to be here after us.
That's deep, philosophical.
Anybody else? Oh, okay. Now, what is something that you want to know about microbes? Oh, okay.
What what is the importance of microbes?
Okay.
Question. Anyone else? Anyone else? Okay. Okay. So we're gonna actually teach you a little bit now that you've experienced the game. So right here, this is a microbe called polio, and it's bad. And right, it looks cute, but it's not really cute.
Really isn't.
So right now you see it on the macro scale. You see it, it's big. You can actually see it, and you don't need a microscope. In reality, it's actually really, really small, and you can't see it with your naked eye. You need a microscope. You need something to enhance your vision and actually look at it. So what we are, the macro scale, you can see us, you can look at us, you can examine us, and then things exist in the micro scale where you can't see, and you need something to help you see them.
Okay. Like you just asked, why should knowing about microbes matter? Well, like she just said previously, microbes are everywhere. They're literally everywhere. What I've learned in this program is that 95% of our body is made up of bacteria, which we can't see, which is really icky because we're always trying to clean ourselves of bacteria, yet we have 95% of it in our body. So like which half is good, which half is bad, but we actually need it in our life.
So putting all this together, we co-designed a game that you guys saw with augmented reality, which I hope you guys experience and maybe know a little bit more. And we'd like to ask the MicroRangers that are here what you learned in the program.
Maya,
Who's MicroRanger?
what did you learn in the program?
I learned that microbes are everywhere in us and on us, and some of them are good and some of them are bad.
Good, good.
Okay. Well, now I'm going to describe the learning process and the science content that we had to put in the game. This picture right here shows the picture of a 3D IMAX movie that we saw called The Mysteries of the Unseen World. It's really interesting because it teaches you about stuff that we cannot see with our naked eye. For example, things that happen too slow, like plants move, like they crawl up trees and they grow, they get sad, they die, and everything that plants do. Also, we see stuff that things that we cannot see that are too fast. And for example, a raindrop, when it falls into a puddle, it drops in the puddle, it bounces up, and then gets smaller. When it drops it back into the puddle, then it bounces up, and it continues that until it's no more. And things that happen where that are too small for us to see, for example, microbes. You guys might not like me because of what I'm going to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. What I learned in this film is that the air that we breathe is full of dead bug parts.
It's filled
Enjoy
with
breathing.
dead bug parts.
Enjoy breathing.
Enjoy
Yeah.
breathing. You need to
Take
breathe.
it all in.
Take it all in. And also, we actually got the chance to visit the 5th floor of the museum. And here are some exhibits that are no longer in circulation that you actually can't see in the halls. And there are also things, animals in jars and worms in jars and things in really cool jars. And for example, one of the exhibits we actually saw that's in this picture is a drop of water, a drop of pond water from the Central Park pond. And it was actually magnified, so you could actually see what's in a simple drop of water. And it's no longer in circulation because it's really delicate and it could fall apart, and we actually want to conserve it because it's really well done. But you actually get to see all the microbes and everything in a drop of water. It's uncertain. It's on the 5th floor. It's out of circulation.
This picture right here, it shows us going to research labs, so we learn how to use science techniques and how to incorporate them in the game. This is one of our fellow MicroRangers, Daniela. She's not here at the moment, but she is looking at a sample of malaria or a sample of algae. We also went to see another research lab, which actually discovered a microorganism that has been unknown to science recently. We were the first to see it. Oh, we didn't discover it. Okay.
We also needed to conduct a little bit of research. So here we're actually learning about the different types of microbes, what the difference between virus, prokaryotes, or eukaryotes are, like what the difference between what each one has that the other one doesn't. So we got to know a little bit of everything and to see this is all the science we learned so we can put it into a game.
This picture right here, it shows us visiting exhibits in the Hall of Ocean Life. And this is me and Alejandro. It's meant to be. We visited exhibits and we planned out skits that we were trying to incorporate into the game to become AR games in the actual game. And we actually talked about characters, what would happen, how it would be solved, and things of that nature.
Basically, what the situation would be and how to solve it and how you would put it into a game, how someone would play it. And also, talking about playing games, to know a little bit about what microbes can do, we actually played Plague Inc., and basically the objective of the game is to destroy humanity.
It's really fun.
It's fun, oh yeah. And we succeeded in destroying it, so you get to choose what type of microbe you want to use, a bacteria, virus, a parasite, and if you destroy the world, you win. So you get a picture of what to do.
It's free on the Google Play Store.
Not free on the App Store.
Yeah. This picture right here is basically the game that we just played. It's called Microbes Everywhere, and that's us playing it. And if you were here before, you saw us playing it. And it's basically a fun icebreaker that we did in between after all the learning that we did, because we learned 7 hours a day in school. So it's really more learning. Let's play a game.
And also, I'm going to ask you guys, what do you guys know about augmented reality? Does anyone want to answer?
No.
No?
Nobody? Crickets? Oh, no, she's a MicroRanger. No MicroRangers included.
So we're actually going to demonstrate what augmented reality is. So if you guys don't know, Haagen-Dazs has an app that actually has augmented reality. So on the lid of ice cream, there is a little QR code, a small little barcode that actually you will actually see what happens. Ooh, low battery. Oh no.
Ice cream
Ice cream.
is delicious. So right now, what Alejandro is about to do, he's going to point his camera on the cover of the Haagen-Dazs container, and now you see a person standing up, playing music. Yeah. Well, it's coming from the.
Even augmented reality has its flaws. Well, there it is, you guys. It's not physically there, but it's on top of it. So this is what augmented reality is. It's virtual reality projected onto something physical. And so we actually experienced this when we learned. So this is an app on the iPad where there is no helicopter there. It's just projected onto the iPad. And as you move around with the iPad, the helicopter also moves. And this is an example of augmented reality. And actually with the science and this gaming, we actually put it together into the application that you guys saw.
This picture demonstrates Susan.
One of our
Susan.
facilitators.
And we are actually discussing which exhibit we actually wanted to put into the game. We had 5 exhibits that we went to explore, which are African pygmies, frogs, beavers, water buffalo, and coral. And basically right here in this picture, we're actually trying to decide which exhibit will be best to put into our game because we actually wanted more fun and science content. So at first we had 2 different ideas, which are different from the game you just played, obviously. But now we have coral and water buffalo, which you just saw, because they had the more fun content and the more learning content.
And also they were the easiest to get to.
Yeah.
They weren't populated too much.
This is a picture of Jeremy, and this is us meeting Jeremy. He's part of a production company called Geomedia, which helps produce games for museums, such like this. We actually met with Jeremy via Skype because we wanted to talk about what we wanted to put into the game, like what we envisioned to put into the game.
And we also wanted some advice to what he would think would be best to put into the game and what he would do and what his team would do to make our game a reality.
This picture is the augmented reality that you kind of saw from the game. This is not exactly what we had in mind, really, but what we got as a finished product, that's basically what it is right now. Yeah, basically. This is where we came up with the ideas for the characters and the script and the AR games, and we just actually put it together so we can see how it would come out, like, basically. This is Alejandro and Joshua, another MicroRanger, and they're describing the AR game that they created for the Beaver site, which is not featured because
One of the sites that's not featured.
The game was, and then the traffic.
And so after we discussed characters and we made a script, we got filmed in front of a green screen. So that right there is Katie, your dispatcher. Hope you enjoyed her. And one of our scientists. And we actually were filmed, and also me. We both got filmed.
Yeah, we both did.
And there aren't any MicroRangers here that were filmed, so we're just going to talk about how. Brianna, how did you feel being filmed?
It was actually a new experience. The lights were really hot, so it was kind of icky because it was hot, especially because I had to wear clothes and a lab coat, and the lab coat was really big, so all that heat generating was like really terrible. But I memorized my lines, but as soon as you get in front of the camera, you freeze up, and then you're like, okay, what do I do now? But after a while, I actually got better and better, and I'm in the finished product. What about you, Alejandro?
It was an interesting experience. It gets really hot under there. If you stand there for too long, you start to sweat, and then it doesn't look as attractive as it should. And I don't know, just in costume, you're someone else, and you hopefully memorize your lines. And if you don't, well, there's someone there with lines that'll read them to you. and you just make it work, and you come out looking like us. Happily. So then after we put everything together, we actually reviewed what the animations would look like. So these are some of the little microbes you saw in the game, hopefully.
Our best friends.
Our best friends, and some of our enemies also. So we reviewed what they would look like when they left, and then we also reviewed cards, what the different cards would look like that you guys saw and hopefully enjoyed looking at. So beautiful. And these are what the AR is projected onto. So we reviewed, we made sure that they were the right color and it was the right person doing the right thing. It's really fun. And then we actually went out into the halls and tested it earlier this week, and it was an interesting experience for all of us.
It really was.
This is behind the scenes.
So this is really what's next. Like we said, this is a prototype, so it's not at its best that it could be at right now, but we're really trying to build on that. We hope like the museum could actually work with it and make it into a better thing for the future. And we hope youth like us can actually build on it, because we feel that we're more creative. Sorry for people older than us.
And I mean, we are in the game, so why not have us again? And so audience, you guys agree, right? You guys are with me on that? You want more? You want more of us, right?
And now we'll pass it to Susan. She
For a
has
very
us-
special presentation.
Yep.
Hi, everybody. I'm Susan Perkins. I'm one of the curators here at the museum. I'm a curator of microbiology, and I was helping out with science content. And so while these guys were sweating under the lights in front of the green screen, I took a group of the other students who weren't being filmed, and we went around the museum after hours to see what was growing on various surfaces. And so our team went out with cotton swabs and a tube of water, and the students chose the sites that they were interested in sampling. And so we dipped the swab in the water and then streaked it across an agar plate. And of course, not all bacteria will grow on the plate, but we're going to show you some pictures of what did. You're immediately going to want to run and wash your hands. I understand. I'll point you to the nearest restroom. So one of the sites was our new statue of Teddy Roosevelt when you come in this first floor entrance. And it's become very popular selfie point or photograph point, right? Everyone wants to go up and put your arm around it. So we swabbed Teddy's shoulder, but actually we didn't get a lot of microbes growing on it. So maybe the metal surface is discouraging of that, at least things that'll grow on a plate. We did a control and swabbed the back of his boot because we figured that wasn't getting touched very much. And we got a few colonies growing on Teddy's boot. This is the school lunch table where the children of New York City come and have their lunches. This remind you, it's at the end of the day. It had hundreds. I did identify some, so I'll show you some of the. We're actually going to do deep genome sequencing on everything to identify what was there. But you can see a variety of types of bacteria growing on that school lunch table. We sampled 2 of the benches. So one is the 4th floor orientation hall. So if you've been up to the 4th floor dinosaur halls, the Meryl Streep movie that explains it. So that's a wooden bench, and we didn't get very much growing on, but the interesting red colony. But there's a carpeted movie seat in the Hall of Gems and Minerals, and we got lots of bacteria harbored in that carpet. So things growing up on that. Then Abby, one of our facilitators who you met, had the idea to sample the water fountain. I had to take this plate out of the incubator after one day because there was so much bacteria growing on it. We also wanted to sample a lot of places where people were touching it a lot, and so interactive touch screens were popular. This is one on the 4th floor, lots of different kinds of colonies there. And then we sampled our meteor. So as you go through Hall of Human Origins, there's the Hall of Meteors and the big 26-ton meteor. That one didn't have very much growing on it, again, possibly because it's metal, so the bacteria didn't like our agar plate. But we also sampled the poles underneath it, and we found a few more microbes there. And so in these last few slides, I've labeled some of the colonies where I got a DNA sequence in my lab from. Most of these are just things that we commonly have on our bodies or in the environment, but some of them are pretty interesting. So this is from the pole. We swabbed the security desk, and we have this bacteria, Brevinemonas, and a whole bunch of mold. That big thing that looks like a feather is just a chunk of mold that was on our security desk. I give the guards a hard time now every night. The railing as you come through the Rose Center, so that gets touched a lot. It had a very common bacteria, Micrococcus luteus, this pretty yellow colony. And then there's a scale in the Rose Center that you can stand on and see how much you'd weigh on the moon. And it was filthy, I can tell you that. When we swabbed, our swab turned black because it had been stepped on so many times. And we got some interesting things, including Psychobacter fecalis. You can imagine where that likely came from. Maybe the dog park, let's be gentle there. And then we had another bacteria that's not been identified or given a name, but was identical, our colony was identical to one that had been isolated from behind someone's ear. And then another Bacillus species. And then one of the touch screens had a bunch of these, again, common bacteria, Streptomyces, found in soil, lots of mold growing on that. We also swabbed the school lunch benches and got some bacteria growing, not as much as on the tables, but this one was similar to one from people's noses, so you can kind of play out that scenario of how that bacteria got onto the lunch bench. And also some touchable dinosaur teeth, so they're at a low level that encourages small kids to touch them, and we got a variety of things on that. So we're going to continue this swabbing project and learn more about what's in the museum. But it was fun to do it with the kids. We had a great time running around the halls after hours and figuring out things to swab. So, yeah, you're gonna want to wash your hands. Yeah. Most of them are things that we would find naturally on us, and that's actually, I should say, one of the concepts that we try to teach the students in this program is that most things are fine if you're healthy. You know, it's bacteria that might enter into an open wound that could cause a problem, or if you were otherwise sick, that would cause a problem. But just seeing a staph or a strep, you know, things you think of as infections, some of these are species that are just naturally found in our environment and nothing to worry about. But we were careful, so these plates got sealed up so that nobody was touching them. I've had a cold ever since I did that experiment. But we're going to follow up. We're really interested. I mean, just the variety that we got from this simple swabbing exercise on 15 surfaces, you know, probably millions of species right now. So, all right, I'm going to hand it back to these guys.
All right, thank you, Susan. Okay. So, do anybody want to play Microbes Everywhere? Yes? No? Yes?
Yes, no, maybe so.
Okay, well, if you want to play, come on.
If you guys want to play, come up to the front, please.
Anybody else want to play?
Maybe that MicroRanger right there could play.
MicroRanger? Any?
Don't be shy, come on.
We don't bite.
What's your chance to be up here?
We
Give
don't
us
bite.
a break. There we go.
Yay. Let's go. May the odds be in your favor.
So should you go on that side and me on this team?
Okay.
So we're actually gonna split up into different teams. Ooh.
You're
So we're gonna explain how to play the game first. So we're first gonna this is basically like rock, paper, scissors. So you have three options. You have a protist, virus, or bacteria, and each one has a specific move that we came up with. So if it's a protist, you will do this. Hands like this together. If it's a virus, we're gonna teach you how to the saying first. So, yeah, you got it?
All right.
So now we're going to actually huddle up,
And
each team, and we're going to
discuss what we're going
discuss
to do.
what we want. So everyone with us.
Microbes, microbes in the air. Microbes, microbes everywhere. Okay, you got us.
So bacteria beat protists.
Protist. Protist trumps virus. Virus trumps bacteria. Bacteria trumps protist. And that's crazy. Okay.
So round two. Round two.
Ready? Microbes, microbes in the air. Microbes, microbes everywhere.
It's a tie. All right, let's discuss again.
Okay.
Microbes,
Microbes in the air. Microbes, microbes everywhere. Okay, you got us.
That's it.
Thank you guys for volunteering.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay.
Did she leave?
No, she's right there.
Oh, she's right there. Okay. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Welcome back, everybody. You had fun? Yeah? Oh, thank you.
Maybe encourage people to grab something to drink or eat.
If you guys want refreshments, they're over there.
If there's any left.
There's more like drinks.
If you guys want to drink something, please.
If you're thirsty, feel free to take something. Yeah, we both. So do 1, 2, 3, like that. All right. So. Wait, you do. I do it. I'll do it. Whatever. Huh? No? All right. We would like to begin again. Welcome back. Everybody had fun, hopefully. All right. Before we get started into anything, we'd like to ask Susan to come over. See, yesterday was Susan's birthday, so we would like to sing happy birthday for her. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Susan. Happy birthday to you. All right, and now you would like to begin.
No, to some serious stuff. Now to our critique session. So all honest opinions. Good
What
and
did you
bad.
really think of it?
Just think.
You cannot say, I like it. If you're going to say you like it, what did you like about it? Raise your hand.
Anyone?
I like that you had to go around to the exhibits and actually see them, so at the same time you could actually learn about them since you have to scan it. So I thought that was cool.
I liked the way it showed that you were thinking and learning, and that your end product was amusing.
I think it's a really educational game that gets kids interested in like learning about all this. So good job. Yeah.
I liked it because
it kind of, you were learning, but it didn't feel like you were learning. It felt like you were just playing a game or something. So yeah, that was fun.
When I was expecting a video game, I expected a stationary sitting there, and I liked the fact that you're moving around, and then in between moving around, you can also move around the exhibit halls. But the game didn't tell me how to get from A to B to C.
I think that it really could be a great educational tool in the classroom for when schools maybe come on visits to the museum. Because then they can really tie in what they might be learning in the classroom with a tour. And it's kind of something for them to look forward to, connected learning with the tech. Thought it was really, really nice.
My experience of museums has generally been like you go from point to point to point, accumulating knowledge, and this is really shows how you can like do an investigation and connect points and move in a non-linear fashion, which is I think is a great use of technology and gets you to explore parts of the little things that you might miss if you're just walking by them.
And what I like most about it was like the video games, because more and more people are like using video games and technology for school and more experiences. Like this could bring up the museums on popularity and income, because if the museum increases its technology-wise using in its exhibits, can actually bring up the end product. Like more and more people who don't usually come to the museum will actually come to the museum just to play the game. And like, it's more experience and more technology. That's what I like.
I thought it was great that that the scientist was that you didn't just use a sort of blanket scientist, that there were specialties, that there were scientists that focused on 3 very specific ways that microbes are studied. And I think that's great, because I think there is a tendency for people to just kind of think scientist and not have a not really have an idea of how that breaks down into all the different ways that microbes are studied.
What I liked about it was seeing that science is not a question of just accumulating facts, but problem solving. And for me, that's what it was really all about. Here's a problem, very real problem, and how do we go about solving it was the kind of attitude I think we want to really promote.
Any more?
Any other last thoughts?
Any
Critiques?
improvement? Okay. Well, we're going to switch into Q&A. We need all the MicroRangers to come up here. Come on. Come on up.
Does anyone have any questions? Any questions? About anything? About the learning process, what we learned, what filming was like, anything?
After today, is there any more? Like, this doesn't continue? That's the first question.
Well, we would like it to continue. If you guys like it and you guys give positive things, then hopefully there might be part 2, maybe 2 more levels.
How did you go about learning about the microbiology? Was it sort of like this game, or was it more like studying?
Actually, we did different kind of activities. For example, we go to the IMAX theater to watch it's a little movie. It's called Too Slow or Too Fast, and then it shows something that you might cannot see in your life. Like for example, I think Brianna had mentioned it before. It says like in the air you might have the bugs, yeah, And also, like for example, a water drop in the lake, it might like bump it up first and then down, like somehow this kind of thing. And we also, Susan teach us some microbiology. And so thank you.
Anyone else want to address that question? Is it more like school or more like a game?
There were some sessions where we would sit down and Susan would teach us and we would take notes like in a school setting. But then there were other occasions where we would actually have like a hands-on experience where we would go out and swab bacteria and we would actually get to see how Susan works. And it was definitely an interesting and educational experience for us. So we did both, kind of studied and like hands-on activities.
My question is, this was, I bet, really cool and really inspiring to make this really cool game. I'm wondering if this has inspired you to make any other things maybe in the future after this ends outside this program. If there's any sort of other things that you want to make or are thinking about making already.
I believe this actually does inspire me to create more things because, as you can see, my brother, he's in the audience, and this gives me a lot of bragging rights against him. So I made a game, haha. So anybody else?
Yeah, I think doing something like this, I had a lot of fun. I thought it was really cool and something fun I could do, and I would definitely love to do something similar to this at least again. I think that'd be really fun.
Susan told you about her experiences. Did you actually get any lab experiences looking through microscopes at the bacteria that you had swabbed or collected in the agar-agar? How about Daniel just answered. Ruben, did you?
Okay. We looked at the things on agar plates, but we didn't actually get to see the actual bacteria through microscopes.
Although we did look at microscopes at one point, we went up to Susan's lab and we saw there was an algae there which we could look at, and there was also, I believe it was bird cells with that had been infected with malaria, which was then like died, so we could see it. That was pretty cool. And also we went to another lab where they had an electron microscope, two different kinds actually, one which was scanning and one which was, I think it was called transmission. Those were both really cool and interesting to look at. And we got to see a little algae cell for like the first time anyone had seen it of that species, which was like insanely cool.
I have two questions. So first, do you get to study and test out what those bacteria are in your swabbing experiences? And the second thing is, I'm just curious, after studying microbiology, in which ways are you, your lives going to change?
Well, to address the second question, I really enjoyed the microbiology of this program, and it definitely will make me read more books about microbiology, and maybe in college I might study that. You know, God bless. Wow. Any more questions?
All right, let's give it up for the mic. Oh, whoa, excuse me. Wait, hold on. Sorry.
My question is not as science-based, but what else did you learn outside of microbiology? She said that it helped you with speech and talking to people. So, like, in that area, what else did you learn? No.
I guess we learned what it was like being in front of a camera. I guess we learned what it was like. What would it be like talking in front of an audience? And then just like it also taught us what we would look like if we were on an app. So that was interesting.
Yeah. Wow. Alejandro.
Oh, I know. We also learned how to do Photoshop. Yeah. I don't remember everything, but we also learned how to do Photoshop, which is cool.
We also learn how to like you interact with people because there are two sections in the app. There are two story, and then we talk like split into two groups, and then we discuss it how the story goes and how the games are. So like we also learn how to be in a group.
I also feel like it also helped build our social skills because there was this day we walked in and they told us get into two groups. Like they gave us numbers and like we had to sit with our partner and we had to draw holding hands with each other, which was crazy, but it was fun. We had to draw a microbe actually holding hands with our partner, and it was just actually a fun experience in here. Thank you guys. Sit down. Okay, we have one more slide to show you guys, so sit down.
Actually, we would like to talk a little bit about this, about our social skills.
Okay.
The first picture was the first day.
Yeah.
It was just the very first day, and there we are, just standing around, not really talking. We're all nervous, very awkward, a lot of silence in this very room.
Yeah.
To include that. And then this is us a few weeks later during our film shoot. As you can see, we're all together, all one big happy MicroRanger family. We're all posing, all cute.
Like he said in this picture, it's not like we're all holding hands singing Kumbaya and everything. We're all like, I don't know you. Arm's length distance, okay. And in the second picture, even though it's not everybody, you can actually see the closeness we have together. And like, it's actually a difference from how it was because as you can see, when we first came here, we were as quiet as you guys were when we asked you for volunteers and stuff. And as time kept pushing and everything, as we met other people, became friends with other people.
As we worked together and created this.
We actually created friendships and we actually got along, got more better social skills, and that's really it. We would like to thank our facilitators, Barry, Marissa, Susan, Hannah, Abigail, Ruth.
Without them, we would know nothing and we wouldn't have this together. We would also like to thank GeoMedia for actually putting this all together and making it a reality. And we would like to thank you guys for being here.
And the MicroRangers who also helped produce the game.
Everyone.
Thank you.
So thank you all.